Well, good morning. Good morning. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday, TGIF. I just cussed underneath my voice. I did. I'm so excited that it's Friday. I am looking forward to virtual game night again. Um, what else is there to do? I don't know about you all. Yes, they have. Well, I guess today he's been running around, going out to eat and stuff for weeks down there where he lives in Georgia. You know, they're rebels to the core down there. But anyway, I'm a little jealous. I am. So we're gonna do what we do up here in Chicago, and Brian, my husband, and I. We're gonna drive around and watch all the people eat out on the patios. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to last, but I'm doing it. I'm trying. I have asthma, so I'm at high risk, so I'm still not ready to go back out. What about you? Anyway, today is Friday. Yes, thank you, Jesus. Another week is gone. We're upon the weekend. What's on your plan? Your dance card for the weekend. I'm gonna do some yard work again. It always helps me, if you know what I mean. Help me welcome to the show my sidekick, Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Mm. We opened up a brand new bag of something. I think it's hazelnut. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm really excited about today's guest because, first of all, he just got off the air himself. Every time I bring him here, it's better when I bring him alone because when I bring Shannon, it's like watching their show. So when I bring him alone, I can pick his brain for all these oddities. He knows something about everything. You could just sit there all night. When I was at his house in Atlanta for the Power of We, he hosted me. Um, I could just sit there and it's almost like you just reach in a grab bag and throw a topic out there and he knows something about it. So he's that kind of a guy. Tim Ray, the co-host of Awaken Atlantis here today. And I want to thank you all for joining me. It's a great day to be alive. And I want to say hats off, tip my hat to my sponsor for this month. That is symposium.us, where you can turn your conversation into currency. All you have to do, it's simple. 1, 2, 3. Head over to the App Store or Google Play and get yourself the download for symposium.us. I know because I've done it over 25 times myself, and according to them, I am their top money earner. So I know a little bit about how to get a little of this over on Symposium. Anything you're good at, you can make money with over there. They help you change your cell phone into a payphone. That's symposium.us. Now, why did I bring Tim Ray? I'm glad I've stalled waiting for all of you to get here. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Tim Ray, what I love about him and his show and his organization, uimedia.org, unitedintentions.org, actually. What just happened? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, okay, I hit a button. What is it that I keep touching? You know what? My senior moments don't even have to come out of my mouth anymore. I can create senior moments by movement. I'm not kidding. I knock stuff. Oh, pray for me, will you please? Thank you. Um. Anyway, Tim Ray, I'm just gonna. I think I heard a chariot arriving, so he's probably here. Oh, you are here.
The chariot has arrived.
Ben Hur.
Loren, my favorite man in the bathrobe. How are you?
Good. How are you? Good morning. Thank you for popping over from your show.
Well, absolutely. Listen,
Oh,
we're staying busy. We're doing what we need to be doing, as you are too. And I enjoy these bathrobe moments more so because we get real and we don't have to worry about political correctness and what to say, what not to say. And to me, that's everything in conversation.
you are the consummate professional. Now I see that you have your earbuds in, and you guys out there, are you guys hearing something? See, Mandy said, "What is that background sound?" I have no idea. We thought it was the open merge. We thought it was my computer, which has been in the
Well,
Best Buy hospital.
let me take the earbuds out and see if it does any better.
Okay,
How's that sound? No,
I don't hear anything, so I don't
I hear.
know.
I still hear it.
Hold on,
Yeah,
I'm gonna turn
it's
this down.
definitely coming from the system there.
Yeah, I hear that. So Tim, you're a pro. What do you think that is? We thought it was my other computer. They've had it for a week. They haven't said anything.
It's definitely sounds like an audio feedback, like something's maybe volume's too high somewhere.
Really?
I don't know, maybe on the computer
Let me
itself.
turn that down.
I'm not sure how this works.
Is it any better?
No.
See, I just can't hear you now, so I got to turn you back up. Well, I am sorry. Huh?
It's still like I can still hear. It's just a little. You get used to the background noise. It's just kind of like
But I don't like it. Oh, Brandy Drake says she can't even hear it.
Oh, really?
Oh.
What are they saying?
Oh, there's going to be hell to pay if she ever comes back to another game night of mine, which you never showed up for. Excuse me. Guess who's here watching?
What is she?
Guess who's lurking? Shannon.
Oh, who?
Shannon McVeigh. She's here lurking around.
Shannon, you're supposed to be sleeping.
And Shannon, don't feel in some kind of way because I have Tim, because I needed a well, you'll find out here in a minute. Okay, Tim, welcome to the show. The reason I think it's necessary, almost mandatory. See, there's another one of the. I told you.
Hey, it rhymes. Come on, it rhymes.
I'm gonna create a drinking game where every time Loren has a senior moment, everybody drinks. The whole place will be drunk. I'm telling you, I just don't know what's going on. Good morning, Cedric Riley. Right. Rita Mendoza, Robert Brooker, Brandy Drake, and Lori Whitney. Ooh, the list goes on and on. Shannon McVeigh. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry if you're hearing some kind of buzzing. I don't know what it is. I'm going to call the network when I get done and find out if it's something else. Tim, thank you for being here. You guys, I want to show you guys a little something so you can get an idea. And Shannon, I got to move this. Shannon, you're here. Where is it? Is this where it is? Wait a minute, you guys. Okay, this is it. Okay, I want to give you a taste of what Shannon and Tim do. Stay right there. This is one of my favorites for a few reasons. There. Okay, take a look.
That to be true.
You're always trying to make me look like some freaking crazy religious person.
Am I?
Just because I believe in God.
Yeah, are you
God
not?
I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual. I believe in God. I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Holy Spirit. It doesn't mean I'm not like God hates gay people. Like I don't think that's of God. I think that's of evilness.
Well, do you think that's of man just doing their?
Yes, that's of man being a-holes to each other.
Okay. Well, for better lack of a better word.
So I think that I'm.
Okay, so that was to give everybody a little taste of what happens over between those two.
I can give you a better clip than that one, Lauren.
Oh, I bet you could. I only picked that one up because I have it bookmarked because my PT was on your show that morning. So I pulled it up. You know, I was like this.
I should have gave you a clip of Shannon walking off the set yesterday. Well,
no, did Shannon pout? Did Shannon lay down and pout in aisle 6?
She sure did. She sure did. And you can hear all about it. You can hear all about it on Tuesday. That's if she shows up. We'll see what happens.
Oh, that's why. Oh, she's not just on here. She's probably across the street up in a tree across from your house. Show it coming this fall. Sniper 2.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh my God, you made Shannon walk off the set?
Well, it was. I don't want to share too much of it because you'll hear about it hopefully next week if she comes back, and I'll let her tell her story because she'll say whatever I say. She'll say it is tainted from my perspective. So I want to give. I want to give her the first punch. Okay.
Okay.
As a gentleman that I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, Michelle Marie, I wish you would check out my teaching session. That'll be great. Good morning, everybody. Saying hi to everyone that's here. Now, listen. Okay, Tim.
Yeah.
The reason I had you here, I knew right away that I needed to get you in here. Since you were here with Shannon, we were talking about the pandemic about a month and a half ago, maybe even longer.
The pandemic, you mean?
The 5G conspiracy, or all the different things that people were saying were going on. Now, here we are, still within the pandemic. Haven't even cleared ourselves of that. And there's this other thing going on. Of course, I'm speaking of the civil unrest and the George Floyd and et al. What say you? Is it real? Is it not?
Well, everything's real in the sense people are dying and people's rights are being taken away and there's violence. I mean, this is all real. But it's not about, COVID-19, whether you want to call it that or it's something else. It's a respiratory or a cardiac issue going on that's being misdiagnosed. People are dying from it. It's real. However, the question really is not so much whether these things are real, is has it been planned? And if it has been planned, from COVID-19 to the riots where bricks are being put down in every different city, for people who are protesting, may get a little more upset and want to throw bricks and windows. If all this stuff has been planned and laid out, the question is why it's been planned. And if we don't have the critical thinking and the curiosity, at least curiosity, to look behind the scenes, look behind, as you always say, the curtain, and see see the real puppet master there. If we're not willing to look and see, then we're going to be blinded by whatever this plan is as it's unfolding. And I believe, from my perspective, what I've been seeing, that this plan is right on track. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, all the way going towards military in the streets, and getting really to the point where we will lose our right to protest if these riots, I'm not talking about the protests, we'll lose our rights to protest if these riots continue, for these self-interest riots and planned riots, George Soros planned riots. If we allow them to continue, and we allow different groups and races to be manipulated by other people, then we're going to go right into the hands of what this plan's all about, and that's world domination.
Listen, it seems like no sooner than something kicks off. I don't know. You know what I feel like? Remember that cartoon character back in the day that was like, which way did it go? Which way did it go? I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just keeping it real. I mean, it started a couple nights last week. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Brian, my husband, and he's been killed, therapist, this and that, but he couldn't sleep. He kept staying. He couldn't go to work one day because they had rioted here in our town. Now, there were peaceful ones during the day, and you saw none of those people on the screen that night. That's what all people. I was like, "Who is that?" You could just tell.
They're not even from your state. They're coming from other states.
Right. They're walking away from civilization, thinking they're headed to something. That's how I was like, they don't even know where they're at. So we sit there, and he kept saying to me the next day, because he said, because we drove down the night before just to see people eating outside to see if we would be tempted, and then that happened. But he said, he kept looking over at me. I was like, what's wrong with you? He was like, you don't seem very upset about what they did to our town. And I was like, well, they didn't tag the house, right? So anyway, there were a couple back and forths there. And so then, of course, every time I wanted to get some humor in, I'd say, like, you know what, leave me alone, Whitey.
Well, speaking of Whitey, a lot of the protesters are these white little punks that are saying they're there to help the Black Life Matters, and a lot of the black folks in the different cities, as they're throwing and breaking in glasses and saying, "Hey, we're doing this for you." And guess who's going to get blamed? It's not going to be those, white
little
punks.
White kids, right?
It's going to be all the black folk who are out protesting what they believe, and now the worst of the people in whatever culture are going to come out. The thieves are going to come out at nighttime, and they're going to take advantage of the chaos because, hey, free clothes, free stuff, as they a lot of people see it. So the lowest denominator in any group is going to rise to the attention and cause all the problems, and make the people who truly are there for the principal reasons of the protest, because because Floyd was killed, then it's all gone under the water. It's all for nothing. And now the agenda moving forward, which I believe is much bigger than Black Lives Matters or Antifa or anything else out there, is the domination plan of a military taking over, and this new world order, all the gang involvement, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, them rolling out their plan right in line with the responses, knowing social behavior, human behavior, and what groups will be easily emotionally manipulated to move their agenda forward.
Tim?
Yeah.
I know you have a housekeeper, but do you cook? Do you ever cook?
Yeah. People, I lived on my own. I had nothing.
Okay, wait. There's a purpose for me asking that.
All right. I mean,
so
you and Shannon. Shannon tell you to answer that question.
No, I have there's a reason I'm asking that, because I'm asking if you cook. because I want you to know, when you cook, you sprinkle in some seasoning here at the beginning. You go, you taste it a little bit down. You just come in and dump the whole damn thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I'm like, good Lord, can you ease some of this crazy stuff on us?
hey, kind of like my sex life, Loren. This is bam, there you go. So
if Shannon, I wish you were on here now. Let me send you the link. Listen, no, seriously, you're right about these kids, because there was a white kid here at the protest, the night version, which was all the negative stuff.
Yeah.
We had an African American teen get stabbed. He was peaceful. He got stabbed by the white kid, who he was trying to admonish for being too aggressive.
Yeah.
And the white kid pulled out a knife and stabbed him. That kid's still here in the hospital right down the street from our house, fighting for his life.
In Minnesota, this white dude with an umbrella and a full gas mask on, he couldn't see his face, started one of the first rioting places was AutoZone, and he was just going by with a hammer and knocking out the windows as this one little kid, this little black kid with the pizza thing, holding the pizza, whatever, was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And the guy wasn't like he was going in and looting. He was just there to create the tension so then everybody else would go in and loot. But he started that whole momentum, and this is the setup. This is exactly how it's done. It's kind of or it's perceived to be organic, but yet it's been planned and created. And as they move forward with this agenda, human behavior, the lowest of the lowest denominator behavior, is going to seeks its lowest level, is going to go out and take advantage of a situation of self-interest. And they know that. They know it won't be the good person, it won't be the good working, ethical, principled black man or black woman going into these auto zones and stealing these things. It's going to be the lowest of whatever culture is going to do that, and white, whatever it may be in that neighborhood. But they play on that. They deliberately go after that fact. And they use that, and they're using that, and using a lot of these different people to take advantage of the circumstances, which is their much bigger agenda, which is going to affect everybody, not just the black culture.
Okay, we're gonna come back. Get your questions ready. It's getting ready to get hot up in here because Jason Cisneros just showed up, and he kind of thinks like you, but different. So I'm sure he's gonna have plenty to say. When we come back, we have to take a 1 minute break. When we come back, I want to ask him about a clip that he sent me yesterday, because, just when you think you've seen it all, here along comes some more shit. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say about it. You guys stay where you're at. We're going to be right back. Yeah, I threw that in there last minute. For those of you wondering, you see there's a clip in there about Wednesday night's Bathrobe Moments. You're supposed to try to guess whose face that is. It's a partial. Tim, your face showed up really good on yours, on your promo. Yeah, oh yeah. But it's Jason. He'll be here Wednesday night, Bathrobe Moments After Dark, to talk about some deep subjects. So mark your calendar, set your alarm. So Tim, you sent me a clip. I'm not gonna show the whole thing, but I'm gonna show a little. And this woman is you sent this to me yesterday. I'm like, where in the hell does he find this stuff? I'm not kidding. I'll be honest with you. Half the stuff you send me, I'm scared to open because it might say, that's why I think I found that thing about those birds. I said that when I found the thing about those birds in that parking lot, I sent it straight to your ass. So I'm like, I got one for you now. Yeah, that was scary. What do you think that was?
I think it's probably electromagnetic frequencies attracting them, but
and they were just flying in circles.
Yes, or confusing them. Either something going on. It's definitely EMF. It's something that's invisible, you can't see, I believe. But that was just incredible at how you literally you thought. I'm sure you thought about Alfred Hitchcock, right? And,
I did. Tip your head room. Look, we were looking out our windows. We weren't going anywhere. I'm not kidding you. So did that surprise you? Did that shock you when I sent that to you?
Oh,
When you saw it?
yeah, it sure did. I mean, I was amazed. Now, and curious. See,
And
it's one,
curious.
it's one thing being shocked and being in fear. And when you're in fear, your critical thinking shuts down, and you can't go past. And you just and you close minded. You don't want to be open minded. You want to have this belief, and you don't want to change it because fear limits your belief. That's why I
Right.
think everyone needs to be as open minded and light on their feet more so now than ever before. So many games are being played. So many lies are being laid out that is almost unbelievable. So when you get crazy off the wall out of these things, videos sent to you, and like the one you're going to show here, I always tell everybody, you've got to be open minded, hear what they have to say, and then make your judgment.
Then make your judgment.
If you make your judgment
Well-
ahead of time, then you're just in fear and closed mindedness, which is the reason why we're in this mess to begin with.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this. Now, this woman, she's a PhD. She's, and I know it has, Dr. Winnie Hartstrong, and she's also running for the House.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that has something to do, and this is just some ploy to get in the press or whatever, but I'll let you be the judge, everybody. Here we go. Oh no, I want to blow. Okay, well, anyway, there we go. We can slow.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Winnie Hartstrong. I'm running for Congress to represent Missouri, and I was born in Minneapolis. This hospital where George Floyd supposedly took his last breath is where I took my first breath. So I'm very concerned about what's happening right now in my home state. I wanted to ask a few questions, and the thing I have to say today is George Floyd is alive, prove me wrong. I'm an academic. I studied rhetoric. There's an actual department of rhetoric to study how to use words and reality toward your own advantage. We studied Hitler's rhetoric. I studied all America's founding documents, going all the way to the Declaration of Independence and to President Trump's inaugural addresses. I even wrote a children's book on the president, and I have some things to say about what's happening right now in our country. I am part of the MAGA movement. There's a concerted effort to quash the MAGA movement, but that's not going to happen because there's a worldwide awakening and people around the world are waking up. I have so much to say about this. So George Floyd supposedly is being choked to death and he's crying out for his mom. We haven't heard anything about the mom. We haven't seen a family photo. We haven't seen any evidence of them together as a cohesive unit. Floyd might be a fake name for all we know. What I know for sure is that there is a Floyd's in South Minneapolis that's a hot spot, a gathering place for African Americans in that city, and it's a barbershop. So if I was going to murder the psyche of a people, I would give this guy a Floyd name. John Floyd, George Floyd. I could get you 10 George Floyds by the end of the day. You know how you do it? You lure in a homeless man, you give him some drugs laced with poison, and you kill him. So that's Exhibit A, George Floyd, okay? The person that has been booked now, the photo of this Chauvin officer is not the same person in the video who is strangling him. There are cameras from around the world gathered right now in Minneapolis, and there was no video evidence of this guy being arrested. So we're supposed to believe that the person that's in jail right now is a person we see in the video. Black America, you all need to wake up and stop being so emotional. You need.
Okay, just right there. So, oh, you changed the shape of your phone. Oh, you're on your phone. Tim. Can you hear me, Tim?
Loren, and if you can hear me.
I've just turned you back in. Now I can't see you. You can't hear me? Oh, Lord. Why did he go messing with things? Curious.
Loren, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? No.
You may be able to hear me, but I can't hear you. See if you put me
Go
on
out
mute
and
or
come back
something.
in. I didn't. I did now.
Yeah,
now you're off.
Yeah, see if you could
I'll take and put it back.
reestablish a line. I can't hear you.
Go out and come back.
Go out and come back. All right.
See? You see how I did that? What's that called? Senior moment. Blanking. What is that called? Sign language. So anyway, you guys, a PhD running for Congress. and she says she believes George Floyd isn't even dead. Excuse me. Now, further into the clip, and if you Google Dr. Winnie Hartstrong, you'll be able to watch that clip in its fullness, in its entirety. Now, another thing she says in there, she goes, "If you okay, there's Tim. Okay,
I got
now,
you. Yeah, I hear you now.
See, I don't know what that is. When we go sometimes to a club, I'm gonna have to call in. I'm calling the tech people. So listen, I was telling everybody to go and watch the fullness of the clip. Watch the entire piece. It's only 5 minutes long. But she says things like, the cop doesn't match. She says that their badges don't match. If you look at the gas prices that are in one of the scenes on the thing, they're not the gas prices that match COVID. Things like that. Now, I bet, do people, Tim, just take what she says at face value, or do you think they go back and start looking for these clues to prove, to see if what she's saying is accurate?
Oh, I think exactly what needs to happen. People, as she even said, she challenged everybody, prove me wrong. And but this is the thing for me. This is not, whether this was legitimate or this was a setup. It's not.
I mean, she's running for Congress.
I know exactly. Yeah. So, but this is not the first time we've been set up on what we call false flags. I mean, 9/11 is one of the bigger ones. Just recently. The president comes out and Congress comes out and says, we're only going to lock down for a week because get over this curve. Well, it's not the curve then. Now we got to lock down for 30 days. Oh, no, it's 3 months and going because we got to get a vaccine. They lie to us every step of the way. We're being lied to by everyone. And we just go along with it because we have such a short-term memory. And we forget about this. All the other false flags that have occurred over time. I couldn't even begin to go with them. And on top of that, this is what you should be really concerned about, guys. That the MUNT Act, which is the MUNT something Act, was passed a handful of years ago that protects the media, mainstream media, all media. Basically, they can lie and set up great hoaxes and have no legal ramifications whatsoever. That's in our legislation was passed when everybody else was sleeping. So when you see these type of events, and they, like, for example, they had during the pandemic was these doctors, they had a dummy, they were creating this, had a dummy as person had COVID, and it was actually a dummy, right? And it was actual fake news. But there's no, you can't sue them because they're considered news, mainstream media news, as entertainment. So they labeled it as entertainment, so they could blatantly lie about anything legally, and that's on the books. So when you have legislation like that, that's not getting mainstream media news, that supports people, news companies to lie to you and make hoaxes and have no legitimate repercussions to it, then why couldn't something like that be true?
So do you think because this woman, because I Googled her to pull it back up so I could have it here on the screen because you sent it to me in Messenger on my phone. And I saw all that stuff, running for Congress, such pages and pages of it. And I thought, well, I wonder if this is some kind of a political.
It could be,
Look,
but I wouldn't focus on.
Well,
that
wait a minute.
I'd focus on what she's saying to prove her wrong first,
Okay.
And then go into an agenda.
Well, the other part of that statement was this. First of all, this ain't Awaken Atlanta. You're the guest, not the host. Dang. Shannon, I see what you deal with, girl. I'm about to walk off my own show. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Tim. I love you.
I love you.
But I'm saying, do you think that just because of we look on there, we go, ooh, it's got to be true. She's running for Congress. And she's black. You know what I'm saying? And then, but then she's got on "Keep America Strong." Isn't that a Trump phrase?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and
make America great.
Make America great. Yeah, but it could be the fact that she's black saying that. I mean, that does stop for a moment there because the first response be if somebody like white said that they're a racist, right? You wouldn't be able to get out to the details of maybe she questioned this because it would stop right there. He's white or she's right.
What makes a person just automatically say, you know what? I bet he ain't even dead. I bet, you know what I'm saying? And isn't she risking a lot?
Yeah, well, probably because we've done that through every false flag we've had recently to far back that some people are hip to it and realizing the first thing you need to do is see if it's a false flag before you say what's true in your eyes, even on media, because we've been lied to over and over again. So I think it's probably a good first thing you should say. Is it a false flag? Let me vet that out first, and then let me go, because they do it and they don't even need to have truth in it. It sets off wars, literally.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then we got some comments.
Yeah.
It just seems like it would be the perfect time to stir up some more shit.
Yeah.
Because of what we're coming not even out of yet, just kind of changing, trying to bend that curve and whatnot. And they know the mindset of people.
Oh yeah.
Lambs to slaughter mentality. Jason says, "Ooh, a lot. What is it?" He says, even if it wasn't a false flag, you average 2 white unarmed deaths per month, and last year 9 unarmed blacks. All they had to do was be ready to deploy racial war when it did happen. They were 100% ready to deploy to light things on fire after keeping us locked down. Paid protesters, buses executed with precision. Now, that's exactly right. Now, when I contacted you yesterday, it was because Brian had mentioned, he said, my aunt says there's some faction. There's this group. And we had no idea it existed. What was the name of it? I asked you about it.
Antifa.
Yeah, talk about that. What's it called?
Antifa. The
Antiva.
Yeah,
Antifa.
Yeah. Antifa. Yeah, and they like Black Matters. A lot of them are supported financially, like the board of directors. I think George the Son's on the Black Matters board. Black Lives Matters board, and I think George Soros is on the Antifa board on that level. George Soros.
Who is that?
George Soros is basically, from my research, if you go online and start typing in George Soros, you'll hear all these glorious, he's a philanthropist who helps people and loves people and all this. But when you go behind the scenes and you get past the superficialness and the compromised CIA operative information they put on the, they call it afroturfing, fake grassroots type of plan.
Oh, you said Astro.
Yeah, Astro.
I thought you said Afro. I was like, who said that shit?
And so they put all this fake news up on there, right? And then all of a sudden you're realizing that, hey, this is something that sounds great, but when you go deeper, you realize George Soros has done this in other countries. He goes in, he divides, he uses different groups and races. He's using the black culture to divide and conquer. But in Ukraine and other countries, he's using the different races, and he pits people against each other.
Well, why? Why would he do this? What's in it for him? What's his end goal?
His end goal is exactly what's happening right now: dismantle and basically create chaos. So then the power brokers could come in and take over and create the fascist state that they're claiming that they're trying to create.
And this is what Soros.
Yes, and he's actually a Nazi collaborator. As a young kid, he's a Jew who turned in other Jews during World War II. And I guess at some level, he's a young kid, 13, 14, when that was going on. You have to give some type of understanding to it. But at the same time, as these other Jews that he turned in, they were tortured, murdered, and over and over again. And at that point, you got to decide. And we may find out soon enough the direction we're going in right now, whether you're going to give your life up or you're going to give other people's lives up. And I think that's going to come down to a level of honor and integrity as we move forward into more of a fascist environment.
Okay. Let's double back, if we could, for a moment, to what you said at the top of the hour. You said something about where you saw this all heading. And it was too early. It was too much. That's why I cut you off and said, can't you sprinkle some of this stuff in here? Good Lord, my heart pounding. I'm about to pee on myself and all this stuff is going on, but I didn't want anybody to know. I was like, oh, stop, Tim, you're scaring me. But let's talk about it, because if it's even remotely possible that this could be a reality, we need to have the discussion. So, Tim, what was it you were alluding to at the beginning when you said world domination and all this? Because I remember back at the front end of COVID, a friend of mine, a speaker, Tim Johnson, he was down there in Atlanta when we were there. He was like, I put an electric fence around my shit. I started getting silver, and I was like, what? But it's not doesn't sound so crazy after all.
Those preppers don't sound so crazy after all
Prepper.
these days, do you?
Yes,
Yeah,
I heard that somebody said they were a prepper on my show
Yeah.
the other day. Wait, I think it was Jason.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I can see Jason being a prepper.
I think he said he was.
A lot of the folks who kind of see the writing on the wall, they've seen it for years, decades. I mean, I
Talk about it.
I know this day was going to come 30 years ago, at some point. Where they're going to actually break down. This has been in play for hundreds of years, actually. But let's just go back to 2010.
Jason said that George is a puppet master.
Yeah, well, yeah, and George not only is a puppet master, but George is a puppet for the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. He's doing his job. He's been supported by the New World Order, the Illuminati, the 13 families for decades now. So he's just another player like Bill Gates. This is another player in the cabal, and this is where this is the plan. This is the game plan. And back in 2010, the Rockefeller came out with paperwork on the international, I think it's called development something, blah, blah. And they basically said that this biological pandemic is what they're going to be, the simulation is going to be exactly what's going on. People will be wearing masks. We're going to have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. People will eventually be locked down, social distancing.
Somebody said this.
Yeah, well, back 10 years ago in documents. It's written in the Rockefeller documents. It's there. I showed it on one of our shows. You guys had a
How
chance.
do you find that?
Go to my show I had 2 days ago. I had a show with Dr. Darrell Wolf, and it's called Pandemic, Step Lock to World Domination. And you go to uimedianetwork.org, and you can see with the whole show. We show you the paperwork. We show you what they did in 2010. We even talk about the Sustainable Development Plan for 21st century, which talks about.
So if they go here, can they find it?
No, go put on there UnitedIntentionsNetwork.org.
United Intentions
Network.org. And you not only can see that world domination plan, but we did videos and videos of top leaders in the world talking about what's going on with this agenda, how we're being locked down, how we're being lied to. And back in 2010, it was basically, it had all the documents in there for quarantine and curfews. And now, guess what we're experiencing? Quarantine and curfews, right? So
what made people, that's it. It was just so long, and that's supposed to be a dot, not a comma.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just letting people know.
Sure.
Because I usually do this stuff in advance. Okay, so UnitedIntentionsNetwork.org. Got it, everybody? So wait a minute. So why are we not hearing George's name in the press? Why are we not hearing anything? How can that be?
Because George Soros is part in the press, and the Associated Press, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, as they act like they hate each other, they're actually all working together. They're all ran and owned by Reuters, AP, and Associated Press is what goes out to everybody. Reuters owns that. And then on the boards of the different groups are tied loosely and directly at some points to the Rothschilds, who really are pulling a lot of the strings around the world right now. So the news is compromised. This is why when Trump says fake news, I personally believe Trump is part of the fake news too. I have a very unpopular position where a lot of people get upset at me because either they're saying they're Trump or they're Democrat, and I'm neither. I think both Trump and the Democrats and the Republicans in the key positions, not on the bottom of the pyramid, on the top of the pyramid, are all working for the deep state, and they're playing good cop.
The what?
Deep state, the other part of the government that is hidden from, who are really in charge behind the scenes, that CIA operatives and the other groups in the world and the other country that really pull the strings of what goes on. And I believe that Trump and the Democrats are playing good cop, bad cop. Trump says I could lock down everybody if I wanted to back 3 months ago, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let the governors do this, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that the governors were all going to lock everybody down. So he played the good cop. Well, listen, hydrochloroquine, we all should be on. We should take hydrochloroquine. I brought it up, but yet WHO and now doctors are saying no. And Fauci say we can't use hydrochloroquine, which we know has been saving people's lives, and we unnecessarily killed thousands of seniors because we weren't allowing to use it. They misdiagnosed the whole plan. And all that's coming out. And so they go back and forth. So everyone thinks, oh, Trump's the savior. No, the Democrats are the savior. And guys, I hate to tell you, what I'm seeing and what I'm believing, they're all working for the same agenda. As we move forward from phase one of the COVID now to the riots, then will be the military. And Trump just came out yesterday. Listen, if you guys don't get your act together, and trust me, all these group organizations out there are not going away. Their goal is to create chaos. This has nothing to do with Floyd. Whether that's made up or not, it has nothing to do with Floyd on the higher levels. Their goal is to create anarchy so they can bring in the New World Order, surveillance, and domination. And let me tell you, when the military hits the street, Loren, and they will if they're not put in check. That's why we're talking about
They
it.
were here last weekend.
No, that's the National Guard. I'm talking about the
Okay,
actual
well, they
United
look like military.
well, it is, but I'm saying the actual United States military. When they hit the streets, Loren, guess what's going to happen? There'll be no protests because there'll be no courts, juries of your peers.
Martial law.
It'll be tribunals, and so you won't be able to have your day in court. You'll just have to either do it or you get shot. And this is one of the areas where we slowly, the fog and the warm water are being boiled, and we don't even realize we're moving down there. If Clinton was in office 4 years ago, we probably would have seen martial law. We probably would have seen a lot of this stuff happen quicker. And probably what would have happened, law enforcement would have turned against their handlers, and they said, absolutely not. We probably would have had a second American Revolution, which probably would have been a good thing at this point with the deep state. But they selectively put Trump in there, in my opinion, because they knew Trump, because if the frog jumped in the water back then if Clinton was president, the frog would have jumped right back out of the water. Like, this is way too hot, right? But they put Trump in there to warm it up, to give people a little bit of, oh, yeah, we're going to do this COVID. Oh, yeah, I'm on your side. Don't worry about that. We're going to do this piece here. And as we're being boiled with the game that the Democrats and the Trumps and the Republicans are playing on the higher levels, we're going right off the cliff into phase two, phase three. Phase three will be martial law military, and then you're going to have the surveillance. Now, this can all stop if American people, black, white, whatever color, start uniting and realizing we're being played. As I said earlier, don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining, and this is exactly what's going on. We're being played, in my opinion, on a worldwide play.
Whatever.
Yes, a worldwide level, Loren. This is happening, and I'm telling you, with that is really what this piece is going on right now. If we don't wake up and unite and stop playing these divisions, black against white, and even the police officers, the police officers are reacting to what they're doing. They're under the same spell as everybody else. So it's not the police officers are the problem. There'll be individual racist ones on all levels. Let me tell you something about racism. Everyone's a racist to some degree, and you can prove that anywhere you go. So
I agree with that.
So with that being said, it's not the hatred of the black man or the hatred of the white cop. It's hatred in general we got to look at. We got to look at the word hatred and see, okay, how is that not serving us anymore? Because what hatred's doing is dividing us. And when we're divided, these jokers, the George Soroses, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, they eat that up like candy, and they wait until we actually move forward. As we don't move forward, they're moving forward through agenda, which will be contact tracing, ultimate government surveillance. You got already being rolled out everywhere. You got forced vaccinations coming, RFID chips coming, the tattoos. They already got patents on this. All this is part of their plan. They rolled out years ago, decades ago, that now we're seeing the beginning movement and phases of it as we go forward. So now it's time to rise up and stop this before it goes too far.
And did you mail an envelope to somebody or give somebody some kind of a thumb drive or something that says and told them, if I don't come to work tomorrow, take this to the New York Times?
No, see, listen, there's too many people talk about this. I'm not the only one. And
I'm just saying.
Listen, I don't speak that.
But see, in a way, you see, I'm joking about that.
Yeah,
that too is something that needs to be discussed. Why are people afraid to say things that are against the establishment? Why people are afraid?
We have been scared. We've been conditioned to be fearful, especially in the black culture. We've been conditioned to be fearful, and for right reasons, in many ways, to the police and law enforcement, to the government. And
what do you think of this?
And what? See, I think Trump was the interruption of the plan. I don't think he's part of it. Well, listen, Jason, brother, I hope you're right. But what I'm seeing right now, it's a good cop, bad cop routine. And guess what? Chemtrails still flying. Glyphosate still in the food. Trump already potentially put the military in, which will be a disaster. He's already moving forward. He could say all these things. Either he has no power and can't change anything, or he's not using the bully bullpit right now and saying, hey, guys, do not do the vaccinations. But he's going forward with that. He said, hey, the vaccinations are great. And guess what, Jason? You're still locked down. Almost every state's still locked down. Even in Georgia, one of the first ones that came out, we're still semi-locked down. Restaurants can't thrive right now. They're still limited what people could do. The whole mask and social distance is all BS. We all know it. And they're still playing the game. Trump's still in office on his watch. He's the leader. He's allowing this to happen. He needs to be held accountable whether he's trying to fight it or not. But more you're distracted, I believe, with thinking that Trump's going to eventually save the day in the last hour. It will be the 11th hour. It will be too late because it's going to go forward. So unless there's change right now, and it sounds like it's getting worse, they went from quarantine now to curfews and now potentially to military insurrection in our streets. I don't see any change. I just see the game scene moving forward, and Trump's still part of it. Good cop, bad cop. You know that played, right? The guy sounds he's your friend, and then the bad guys are the ones you're scared of, and as they get the information from you and move you forward. If that's being played, Jason, you need to be aware of that and have that in the back of your mind thinking, well, maybe I don't need to be listening to Trump if this is going down the road. So,
hold on, and I just want to say something to the. Oh no, not that. Here, Jason said he took a ton of shit for not being on lockdown, and so I would like to officially retract the 312. Wait, make that 313 assholes I called you every time I saw you traveling.
Oh, listen. I never stopped. I never wore a mask. When day one, I knew this was a fix that was in. I didn't stop at all. We kept our businesses going. Nothing.
I know. When we invited you to the first game night, you were like, "I'm going to a bar," and then we were looking at each other, half jealous, but really we were like, "He'll be dead by morning," because they've gotten, So okay, so let's talk about this. This hour has flown by. But let's change gears a little bit into, it's easy. Well, maybe not, but it's easy to say rather when we look back and go. I saw Dr. Jan said we talked about this in the 70s. You said 3 years ago I said this or whatever. So okay, so here we are right now. You see stage 1 with the corona. You see stage 2 with the civil unrest. What do you think it means, and what is the next thing? I don't mean, the stage 3 of the corona or what's the next phase of the George thing. I mean, what is the next, what the hell moment?
Okay, well, and I'll give you some my ideas for solutions if you want to hear that, or if you just want to tell you what's going to happen next. I believe will be complete.
Well, if it's too scary, keep it to yourself. I'd rather hear the solution.
Well, I do think it'll be a surveillance going forward, military in the streets, and then martial law eventually, and then game over in reference to your individual rights, military tribunals, and the more chaos they create. I think that could definitely be a reality. Will it be? I don't know, because it's up to us right now. What I do think we need to start doing is stop looking for a savior in somebody else. In a power role position right now. Stop looking for Trump to come save the day. Stop looking for the Democrats to save the day, Nancy Pelosi. Stop looking for your father and daddy to come save the day, okay? Get off your butt right now.
Daddy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll never give up on that dream. Okay, I'm kidding.
While you still can protest, and not riot, but protest. What people should be protesting right now on the street, not so much whether a white police officer killed a black man, because that's been happening for a long time, and it's going to continue to happen. But people should be fighting right now. What people should be fighting on is our rights to go back to business, our rights to get our claim back that never ever you ever quarantine a healthy person with a mask or lock them in the homes. Legislation needs to order that. We need to be on the streets with signs. We are going to work. We're not social distancing. There's no physical evidence for it. There's no physical evidence for masks. OSHA says you have to have at least 19.5% oxygen intake in your body, and it's less with a mask on for we're mandating employees to do this. We need to stop. We need to be protesting every day right now in our local and vocal environments where you are getting a mandate. When there's a mandate, things change. You know why Georgia opened up earlier? Because there was a mandate. This guy, Dawson, and a whole bunch of other people were sending 30,000 cars downtown in Atlanta, and they told the governor, we're showing up, and if you don't better open up. And he got scared, and he opened it up halfway.
What's this?
The mandate in the Palladians?
Yeah, what are those?
Palladians? Oh, you want to talk about aliens? Yeah. What's next is I put a little meme on my my
Jason
handle for-
said mass shooting is next. Then Sharon pops up this word I never heard of.
Yeah, the Pleiadians is the alien race. The many
They're
different
all-
alien races are out there.
Okay.
But point is, solutions are we need to act now. We need to get involved now. We need to unite people. We stop handing over our power to the leaders of our world. They have failed us miserably. They're moving forward with an agenda that's being rolled out as we speak. We need to stand up. We need to protest now. We need to stop with this insanity. Insanity. The gasoline for the last 3 months is the reason why these riots are so out of line. They lit us up. They knew the social psychology of it all. They have all the different scenarios handled. We need to go as a group, unite each other and stop it and go to our local, county, city officials and say, no more. This is not happening anymore. You mandate, you march, you get in there while you still can before the military is in the streets.
Okay, so let me ask you. I saw something that kind of has that scent on it, but, and I'm speaking of when a few weeks back, a month or so ago in Michigan, when they went to the Capitol in Lansing, and there were like 200 protesters inside, and they had to lock the doors. Remember that? And it was a big thing, went all over the press. But the thing that made me not want to support them was that they were showing up with guns.
That's good. That's good.
So let's talk about that real quick this last 5 minutes. People, why is it that we think, what is it? I mean, we've been conditioned to believe through Martin Luther King and blah, blah, blah. Look what happened to Malcolm X because he was not a Martin Luther King. He believed, he said, by any means necessary. Yeah. So what is it? Should we be peaceful or should we use that constitutional right to bear arms? Is that why we have it?
Listen, our country would have been taken over a long time ago if we didn't have the right to bear arms or Second Amendment right. The fact that the government's still scared of and the reason why we have the Second Amendment, Loren, is not because we need shotguns to go hunting. We have the Second Amendment because our own government didn't allow us to have guns and they took over us. They actually suppressed us. And so we made sure in our Constitution that we had the right to defend ourselves from our own government. That's the reason why the Second Amendment lives. And symbolically, carrying an AR or whatever they're carrying into the office down there saying, you better listen to us, is something that's not only constitutional, but it also lets these jokers, these spinners, these liars, these thieves, these scumbags who are representing us collectively for the most part, let them know that, hey, American people, black, white, whatever Asian, are going to stand united and not going to tolerate you abusing our constitutional rights. How dare you arrest somebody for not wearing a mask?
The unmitigated gall.
How dare you arrest somebody for not standing 6 feet away from someone? This is unheard of, insane, unconstitutional, and that's what you should be protesting over, not over all these other things. And this is, if we were organized like George Soros, and paying people to be these crisis actors, and we would have moved this agenda further 3 months ago and never be in the situation we are right now.
Okay, here's what I want to do. Jason, I see you're still here commenting. So, Tim, would you be open to coming on the screen here? I'm gonna move my Monday one, my Monday guest, if you guys will do it. And I'd love to hear. I'd like to go like this and hear you and Jason go back and forth about these different things because
Absolutely.
I've written down. I didn't know what a prepper was. Deep state, contact tracing. I've seen a little bit. I've read a little bit about it, but we need to know more so that we can make better decisions. So I want to continue this. Are you willing to come back Monday?
Monday,
Jason, are you willing to come back Monday, both of you?
Yeah.
What's that? What'd you say, Tim?
I said yes. Yeah, Mondays and Fridays are good for me.
Jason, will you come Monday? Can you do Monday? Put it on the screen and let us know. I think that would be great. I will move my Monday guest.
Probably Jason and I are going to probably agree a lot more than anything. If you want to bring on somebody who disagrees, maybe a little more enticing, that'd be fun too, as well.
Who?
Somebody who disagrees more with these beliefs, it may be fun too. Maybe.
Well, if you know somebody, hook me up with them, and we'll have the three of you.
Most of the people I challenge on that, they say I had doctors try to come on our shows, and they say they will, and they never do because they don't have really a stance. They can't defend their position.
Jason says he's in.
All right,
so cool. I'm gonna find somebody.
All right, find somebody.
I'm gonna find somebody.
It's all conspiracy